Hello mga ka-civil engineero. May gusto lang akong ma-enlighten tayo sa House Bill number 10234. Ito, ng ating House of Representatives, because they are trying to make this law entitled An Act Elevating the Regulation and Practice of Architecture in the Philippines, repealing Republic Act number 9266 and appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. So ano ba itong Republic Act number 9266? Ito yung Architecture Code of the Philippines. Okay? Na gusto lang ma-repeal through this House Bill number 10234. So merong mga modifications na mangyayari. Okay, although some will also be copied based on the architecture code or the RA 9266. Okay, so gusto ko lang mabigyan ng attention itong Article 1, General Provisions, specifically itong Section 3, itong definitional term. So one term that being defined here is yung architecture. Okay, the architecture itself as a profession. So, base sa House Bill number 10234, dinefine kasi nila yung architecture dito as the art and science or profession of planning, designing, and realizing buildings and structures, taking into account their environment and following the principles of utility, strength, and beauty. Okay? And that's a very good presentation of definition. Okay? Maganda yung kapag defined. Okay? However, meron kasing conflicting idea dito na napaloob sa definition ng architecture as per Section 3 of Article 1 of this bill. Kasi mapapansin natin, it's correct. It is the architecture itself is an art and science, and it's also a profession. That relates to planning, designing, realizing buildings and structures. But take note of the word structures. Okay? Remember that buildings is also a structure, but as per definition here, iniba na yung structures. Ibig sabihin, aside from buildings, yung mga structures pa. So, base kasi sa RA number 544 of the Civil Engineering Law, pag sinabi nating structures, those structures are already under the scope of the civil engineering profession. So, ibig sabihin, those structures, aside from buildings, should not be under the scope of the practice of architecture. Rather, it must be under the civil engineering profession. So that's one thing that should be modified. Now, continuing, taking into account their environment and following the principles of, so they have three things, okay? The utility, strength, beauty, and, strength and beauty. Okay, strength, okay? Pag sinabi kasi natin strength, okay, it actually deals sa profession ng civil engineering because it actually denotes the structural capacity, okay, ng structure ng building. And take note, when we deal about the structural capacity, it actually falls under the civil engineering practice. It should not be in the practice of architecture. Now, so that word should also be modified. So, dito sa definition ng architecture sa Section 3 of the Article 1 of this bill, itong dalawang words lang ang nakikita natin kailangan mabago or ma-modify or ma-remove sa kanilang definition. Kasi hindi siya sakop ng kanilang practice. So, therefore, these two words, structures and strength, should be removed. Okay? They should not be included in the definition. So, what we're trying to propose here, an amendment in their definition will go this way. Okay? So architecture is the art and science or profession of planning, designing, and realizing buildings, taking into account their environment and following the principles of utility and beauty. So the two words are already removed. So it actually, or it will purely deal now in the architecture practice. Okay, so actually itong proposed amendment and saka itong mga commentaries being made here, actually ito ay appropriate action ng Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers Incorporated, because nakikita ng ating organization na nagkakaroon ng overlapping sa ating practice of profession. And that should not be happen kasi may kanya-kanya tayong mga charter, may kanya-kanya tayong scope of work na dapat nating i-focus. Okay? So, yan ang tanda natin mga ka-civil engineero na hindi dapat tayo nagkakaroon ng overlapping sa ating profession. And so it also our architects, ating mga arkitekto. Okay? So, hindi tayo magkalaban dito. Rather, we are all tawag nito, members of the design team. So, kailangan natin magtulungan kasi a project, a building, or a structure could not be materialized without our expertise. Okay, so I hope that we're all enlightened here, our architects and also our civil engineers.